Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Champ Talk Show, a life journey of an athlete. I'm Bhushan Thakur, founder and editor in chief of Sports Champ, a sports education magazine. Today's episode is very special as it is on World Champion journey, and we have with us five-time World Champion and six-time European Champion as a special guest with us, who will share with his life journey with us. Now, let me introduce a very special guest of today and a dear friend, Mr. Peter Carlson, who has played in Swedish national team for 20 years, five-time world champion and six times European champion, played 14 seasons in French Pro League, seven times French champion, currently working in Aspire Academy in Qatar and training boys from 12 to 18 years of age, brand ambassador of Stag since 2007, and also have been coaching many top Indian players in Falkenberg Club, Sweden. Currently staying in Qatar with wife Asa and three children, Vilma, Lunis, and Ella. Welcome to the show, Peter, and hurra leget.
Thank you very much. I'm fine, thank you. Your Swedish is good, Bhushan.
Thank you for accepting my invitation and agree to share your life journey with and key areas of champions journey with us, which will guide many in their journey of sports, which is the core purpose of our talk show. What do you think about this platform?
No, it's fantastic. I mean, for me as a former professional player, I'm more than happy to share my experience and knowledge. I know when I was young, I was really looking at older players, older champions, and I could learn a lot from them. So I'm happy to be here.
Fantastic, Peter. As in our Sport Champ talk show, we start with a very small Sport Champ challenge, and I'll ask you five very simple questions, which you will get 5 seconds to answer. The first question for you will be: name any sports club which starts with F.
Sorry, starts with?
Name any sports club which starts with F. F. F for fan.
Yeah. Frankfurt Football Club.
Any club, any club you can feel like.
Yeah, Frankfurt Football Club in Germany.
Okay. Any international player name which starts with L?
L.
Yes, L.
L. Liam Pitchford.
Okay. Yes.
England, British table tennis player.
Okay. Any singer name which starts with P?
P.
P for parrot. Yes, P.
P.
Any singer?
Police. The group Police.
Okay. And one more question. Any animal name which starts with V?
V.
Yeah, V.
V like in my English here. V like in I'm blocked now. Whale. W. I take W. Whale.
Okay. Yes, we can take that. So, Peter,
Yes.
I think we go to the next round now because you have already crossed the first round. And my first question to you will be, tell us a little bit about your childhood. How did you get into table tennis?
Yeah, I have an older brother, 2 years older than me, and we actually started to play at home on the kitchen table when we were very young. I think we started when we were 4 or 5 years old. My parents gave us rackets and balls. We started to play, and then at the age of 7, I started to practice in a club. So it was more of a coincidence that my parents gave us this opportunity.
Okay. So, What was what? Hello. Yeah, what was your
Yes.
parents' role in making you a champion? Like how they used to support you? What was your parents' role?
Yeah. I mean, they were first the one introducing me to the sport by buying these rackets and balls. So, but then after when we started to practice in a club, they were supporting me in a fantastic way. They were bringing me to the practice every day, or 3-4 times a week. They were driving me to competition. Their knowledge in sport, they are not former sportsmen or something, but as a parent, they gave me a fantastic support. And they were not focusing on winning. They were more focusing in joy, pleasure, uh, respecting the trainer and the rules. So they gave me very, very good basic foundation.
Okay. So, who was your mentor or coach? How did you, how in the beginning, and how did your coach help you to achieve your goals? Who was your mentor?
Yeah,
And
yeah, when I was young, from 7 to 16, I had a Swedish coach called Kurt Karlsson. Maybe you know him from Falköping because you have been
yes,
living in
yes,
Sweden, Boshan. Yeah, maybe you
yes,
know Mr. Kurt. Yes.
yes.
No, he was also a very good coach for me when I was young. Again, he was
Okay,
focusing very much on the basic things, which I think is very, very important when you are young, to create a firm
true,
foundation. And then
correct.
to be ready to take the next step when I was 15, 16 years old. So very important time of my career.
So, was there any second coach after that, after your first beginning days?
Yeah, when I was 16 years old, I moved from first club to Falkenberg. And there I got
Okay,
also very, very good coaches. Bo Persson, he was trainer in the school I moved to, and Dick Torstensson, and also later I had
okay,
Stellan Bengtsson as the coach. So 3 fantastic coaches.
okay. So how did these coaches help you to achieve your goals, like mentally, physically, technically? In a brief shell, what was your used to be your training program or during those days?
Yeah, I took a huge step when I moved from my home club to Falkenberg. I started to practice twice a day. I started to practice with the best players in Sweden, and actually at that time the best players in the world. So to have a
Correct,
coach on the side to guide advice was extremely important because, like I said, I changed environment and a lot of new things happened to me. So I think it's more about reflection. Reflection is very, very important. So if you have a coach
correct,
that asks you questions, then he automatically force you to reflect and think. I think it's a very, very important part of a process that the player himself learn to reflect and understand, because you get a lot of information in the process and you need to understand and
correct,
later on also things in your process.
correct. So, just to understand what more important, like what you used to do for mental training. Did you had any given time a sports psychologist to guide you, or it was you who used to prepare your mind for everything what used to happen?
Yeah, you know, I moved 1985, so we are speaking 35 years ago. At that time, sport psychologists
Correct,
were not so common in sport. Uh, I remember one important
correct,
thing that happened to me. Uh, I started to read a book. It was also by coincidence. I found the book. I think it was at home
okay,
actually. My parents had it, and it was from a very, very famous Norwegian sport psychologist, Willy Railo. Maybe you heard the name, Willy Railo.
Okay.
It's called, the title is Best Moment. So how to be your best at the right moment. And I started to read this book by myself. And I found out that, wow, many things that he wrote in the book I had already experienced in my life during competitions. Yeah? And this book actually helped me a lot, because as a sportsman, you become nervous sometimes. You will lose nervous. You will sometimes underperform. And I understood very early that this is totally normal as a sportsman in a sport process. But I also learned that it's possible to train. It's possible to improve. It's not only possible to improve physically and technically. No, you can also improve mentally. You can learn how to handle these situations. You will become nervous because it's normal, but you can handle the situation in a better way. So I think that book made me aware of the importance of mental training.
So you used to train yourself for the mental trainings and everything. Also, like for example, for before matches, or I can put it this way: what used to be your ultimate goal when you enter your training arena for your practice? What goal you keep it that I want to achieve this today? So, what used to be your ultimate goal for the for before the training, or when you enter the arena?
Yeah. Yeah. I have always had in my mind that when I go into training, I have to have the same approach and mindset as when I go into an important match. So I want to link my training with my match. Because if I separate these two, I will not think the same, and the body will also not be the same as when I practice and when I play game. And there I think is very, very crucial part of the process to try to practice in the same way as you want to perform during competition, because you will be a little bit more stressed, you will be a little bit more tensed when it comes to competition. If you can create this environment during training, much better for you. If you are too relaxed in training, become a little bit tensed, then your technique will be different, your body will be different, your timing will be different, and there is a risk you become frustrated because things you are doing in training will not come out during match. So somehow you need to create the same thinking approach in training, because if you see time-wise, you practice maybe 97-98% of the time you play table tennis. You practice a lot more than what you play matches. Matches is only small part if you see the hours you are spending in the table tennis at the table. So there you need to be very aware of this.
Very well said, Peter. It's so important for the youngsters to know about that, how much practice sessions are important, rather than giving too much importance for the matches. But if they start focusing on the practices that much, I think they will play every day a match. I just want to know one thing, that how you used to plan your goals in table tennis. Like what was your pattern of planning goals, whether it is physical, technical, mental, strategical, but what was your pattern of designing it?
Yeah, I mean, I was very fortunate as a young player. From the age of 16, I came into a fantastic environment. It was the best players in Sweden and actually the best players in the world. And these players, they were already European champion, they were Swedish champion, and later on they also become world champion. So during my normal training, I could practice and compete with these players. So it was very natural for me to put very high goals, because I could beat these players in training. I could beat this player during the normal week. And then later, they won big competition. So it's been, I want to become a European champion. I want to become world champion, because my teammates have done it. So this mental barrier was normal for me to aim high. So, and of course, during one season, during a 12-month period, you have won sometimes maybe 2 big championships, and this was the main goal for the year. And then by practicing with these good players, can you hear me, Bhushan?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
by
very
practicing,
clear.
yeah. So by practicing with these good players, I get constant feedback about my game. Constant feedback. I knew what was good in my game. I knew what I had to improve because I practiced with the European and world champions every day. So it was for me very, very simple. Not simple to beat them, but the process itself was very simple because I had the answer. I got the feedback from the best players. It would have been totally different if my group would have been at medium level, because then maybe I feel, oh, I'm good at home, and then I come out and the players are much better. Here it was totally opposite, that when I came out and played big international players, I felt, but the players at home are much better. So it was a fantastic feeling for me.
Correct. Peter, how important is to play with a higher level player on your training session? Is it okay that you play with the same level of players for on your training, or is it also important that you play with a higher level of players during your practice session?
I think you need both. I think you need both, because if you're better players, there is a risk that they always dominate the game. So you will never dominate. You will never be able to be the one deciding things. You will always be in the defense position if the players you play are always better. So there is no chance to develop your attacking game. But with a weaker player, you will get many, many opportunities to attack, and you can develop your attacking game. So I think here it's important to play with players in your level, but also against weaker players sometimes. So to always have a mix, I think it's important. And very important also to play with different playing styles. Right hand, left hand, maybe blocking players, attacking players, defense players. So if you can cover this in your group, I think it's fantastic for you.
Super. I guess that will bring a clarity to many players on these lines. One question I had to ask is, what was the biggest moment of your life in table tennis? What was your biggest moment? If
This
there
is
are
a
many
question I
moments
get
in your
many.
life.
Yes, exactly. This is a question I get many, many times, and to pick one moment is extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. Because, like I said, I was fortunate to have a long career. I was fortunate to play with so many good players. I was also fortunate to be in the team with so many good players.
Correct.
I mean, 1989, when Sweden beat China 5-0 in World Team Championships in Dortmund, was a fantastic moment. Fantastic moment. If you look, China had beaten Sweden 5-0 the last 3 World Team Championships.
Yes.
And Sweden turned it, and we could win 5-0. Yeah? I was not among the 3 players that played because I was still. But to sit there on the bench, be in the team, and to experience this is, of course, a very strong moment.
Yes.
Yeah, and then 1991, also a fantastic moment where Sweden won 3 gold medals in World Championships. Single won by Jürgen Persson, beating Waldner in the final. Me, myself, and Thomas von Schele won doubles, and Sweden won team. So also a fantastic moment.
Super. What guidance you would like to give to players who are currently striving hard to achieve their goals? Only for players, what will be your, because you have trained so many players, you are one of the, as far as I know, you are the best coach in the world who understand the mentality of the player, trained it physically, technically in a complete package. So you give a lot of importance for mental development also, and you name the world top players you have already trained it. I want to understand like what guidance will be there for the players who are striving hard for them to achieve their goals.
I think you need to have a lot of self-awareness as a player. You need to know what makes you unique. Because if you try to copy someone, you will only be medium. You need to understand. You need to understand yourself. You need to know yourself. And you need to also feel when you play, which part of the game can I compete with better player? To find your game style, your way of playing, and then you have to build on that. So to strive high, to go high, you need to maximize the result of what you have, and then you need to build on your unique part. I can see many players, they are going wrong. They have nice backhand, nice forehand, they move okay, but they are just medium. I think they are going wrong in this.
Correct.
You need to find your way of playing, and then you have to go very much to create a very strong and unique playing style to get maximum result out of your game. And of course, every player needs a base. The base is maybe 40-50%. So you can see it as a pyramid. There is a base. But then when you go up in the pyramid, it will be more individual. And there you can also see the different players in the world. They have different playing style. They have different structure when they play. They are serving different. They are attacking different. They receive different. They have built the game in the way that they like. So I think this is the strongest message I want to give players. First, understand who you are. Two, when you play matches and games, try to find out where can I compete with better players? Which part of the game? Number three, start to create a process around your unique part.
Correct.
Yep.
So my next question in align to this is what guidance you would like to give to the coaches who are also striving very hard for their students to take it to the next level. So what way they should also plan for their players to so that they can achieve their goals? What points coaches should consider while designing training programs?
Yeah, and now we have to link with what I earlier said. When you create the base, when you develop the base, there the coach can dominate a lot. The coach can tell the player what to do, because then you can develop a very strong base. When you want to go up in the pyramid and when the game becomes more individual, the coach has to listen to the player. The coach has to ask the player's question. The coach has to understand and know the personality behind the player. So they have to build a strong relation. extremely important that the coach get to know the personality of the player. And of course, the coach has to analyze a lot of matches, and the coach has to ask himself the same question as I said the player has to do. When can my player compete with better players? In which part of the game, against which player? And then again, the coach together with the player has to create a training plan where they build on the unique part of that player.
Correct. What you have very correctly mentioned, that both players and coaches should combinedly plan the training program rather than designing in one
Yes.
way. It's important that both of them sit together and then design a program. And
Yes. Yes.
a relationship of coach and player should be that bonding should be very high. Then they can
Yes.
go together for that journey. I think that's what you are trying to say.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Super. The third person in this pyramid is always the parents. So, like, what suggestion you would like to give parents, because they play a very integral role in child's development, getting them into sport, and beginning 5-7 years, they are the pillar. They hold a very strong place. So, I think
Yes.
here you need to put some big light, because what they should do.
I think parents has an extremely important role, as you say. It's the age, maybe from 5-6 years up to 15-16. Maybe after 15-16, at least in Europe, the player starts to be a little bit more independent.
Correct.
But from 5-6 up to 15-16, I think parents has an extremely important role in making the player coachable. Very important that the player is coachable. If you come as a coach and you have a player, but the player doesn't listen, the player doesn't try to understand, the player, the player is not coachable, then it's going to be very difficult for the coach to work with that player. And I think the way parents raise their child will have a very, very big effect later in the process. Not only in sport, also in school, later when you work. But I definitely think that parents should keep away from training and they can support the players, or should support the players. They can go to competition, but they have to be in the background. They should not be too active in that process. But they shall always be there for the players to support as mother and father. When they win, they are there, but maybe more important when they lose.
Correct.
So, and there I have to say that I'm extremely thankful for what my parents did to me, that they were there for me. If I won, it was good. If I lost, that was also fine. So I was driving my process myself. I want to win. I like to win. I like to practice hard. When I lose matches, I'm disappointed. Then I practice even harder. But I do it for myself, not for my parents. But the parents, and they support me. They drive me to the training. They drive me to the competition. So they gave me the opportunity to do what I wanted to do. So parents are important, but they have to be a little bit on the side. This is my opinion.
Oh, you have mentioned very rightly. I think parents should help the kids to become coachable. So that is a
Yes.
very important point which you have mentioned. If they start becoming a good listener and if they are ready to get coached, then a coach can play a very important role to coach that child. So very strong point you have mentioned, Peter. I think it will be a very clear instructions for every parent that you
Yeah.
should help the child to become coachable. Then the
Yes.
coaching comes in place. I think
Yes.
I am right. What you have mentioned is this.
You are totally right. And think the feedback the parents give to the child after competitions, this feedback is extremely important. For example, if the player win, if the parents praise him too much, it's not good. If the player lose, if the parents are too disappointed, I think doing like that, you give the wrong signal to the kid. You give the wrong signal.
Correct.
The result, we want the player to focus in the process, focus in the everyday training,
Correct.
and then you will have a result. But if you know that you have done your very best every single day, you can be quite relaxed with your result. But not said that the result is not important. You will get a lot of information from playing competition. But the most important is to use the information. So next time when you go to competition, you have to be a little bit better. Then you have a very good process, because then you are using all the information and the time speaks for you.
Correct. Very amazingly kept, Peter. My next question will be: what is one biggest learning you had in the journey of sports, which you would like to share with us? What is one of the life learning or anything which is you have learned through sport, which is still helping you in your journey with your coaching and making so many things?
No, I mean many things. I've experienced many things. I have also gone through many different environments. Like at home, we had a very calm, respectful environment at home. Environment was not so competitive, but more family oriented. But then, as older I got, as more I came into this competitive environment, so it was a little bit different for me. But what I learned, and I think what helps me still today, again, I'm coming back to very quick understand, reflect, understand what requires in the different environment. Adapt, of course. I always have to adapt. And of course, in tough environments, to stay in the tough environment, you need to deliver something. You need to be accepted. And also, I think, to separate the value as a person and the result you are doing. It's two totally different things. I'm not a good man because I win matches, but I'm definitely not a bad man when I lose matches. So my value as a person remain always same. On that side, I'm a professional table tennis player. Yes, I'm gonna win matches and I'm a hero. But I'm gonna lose matches and people. But that's the name of the game. So this is something I learned very early, that if I want to be in this environment, I have to understand the name of the game. People will judge me very hard. People will praise me. People will put me very high. But, okay, self-control. Try to be on the ground. Try to control yourself. I'm not as good as people say when I win, but I'm definitely not as bad as when I lose matches. Yeah. So you need to understand that when you go into this world, into this environment, many things gonna happen, but you need to control yourself, and you need to keep up your the value for you as a person will remain same.
You give lot of importance to a person. Your own value systems should always be kept up then winning and losing is always
Yeah.
secondary. So,
Yes.
uh, my last question to you: where do you see Indian table tennis in next 5 years? What, because you have trained, you know India more than Indians, I guess. You have been to India, you know every person. So where do you see Indian table tennis in next 5 years?
Yeah. First of all, I have to say that I'm extremely impressed by India table tennis, the journey they have done, and I think the journey has just started. We are in the beginning of something that can become really, really good for India table tennis. Even though India now as a team, we can say India is maybe top 8, top 10 in the world. If you see India as a team, fantastic. Yeah, I remember when I came to India first time, 2007. Uh, it was not what I see today. So during these 13 years, and maybe more the last 5 to 8 years, the development in the country has been amazing. So the next 5 years, I think we will continue to see this improvement. We will see more younger players coming up, challenging the older players. Many of the players in the team, they are still very young, so better. So no, I'm very positive, and I believe that India will move up on the ranking list, and we will see more and more India players in big competitions. So, and I'm very happy for that.
Fantastic, Peter. One question which I have is, as you are the brand ambassador of Stag from India, so and Stag is doing a fantastic work for the development of sports at the grassroots levels and all levels. So, what you think as a brand ambassador, you have plans for the development of sport at all levels? Because in Stag is in 200 plus countries. So, what developmental plans you or Stag is planning on that line?
Yeah, we can. I mean, the work and the support Stag gives all around the world is fantastic. Yeah, traveling a lot in the world, and the way the world speak about Stag, they speak about Stag very, very high. Many countries are extremely thankful and appreciate the support Stag gives. And I think we can see the result of this in many continents like Africa, Latin America. I mean, Europe and Asia is a very mature table tennis market. But if we go to the other continents, we can clearly see the result of the work Stag is doing there. And to get a very good top in table tennis, you need a broad base. To support many players, you need to give rackets, balls, tables. So now when we see smaller countries coming up, I think we can clearly connect this with the work Stag has done in the world. So and I hope this, and I think, and or that this work will continue with ITTF. And for me as a former top player, it's a very interesting also to go to these countries because it's a little bit different environment. I've been used to go to the big table tennis countries, China, Japan, Korea, Europe. But for me to go to Latin America, Africa, to meet the coaches, to meet the players, it's a fantastic experience.
Fantastic. Because I think there will be a lot of developments will be seen in coming days as already Stag is doing so wonderful things consistently. Uh, the serious questions finish here and we start with a 60 seconds rapid fire questions with you. I hope you don't mind for some very quick questions which I'll throw for you.
Okay, I will try to
My
answer.
first question. My first question will be: what is your favorite summer activity?
Golf.
Okay, golf.
Golf.
Okay. What do you observe first thing in a player during training when you meet for the first time?
His service.
His service. Okay. I think all the
Yes.
players must be listening this. It's that. So whenever you come on this coaching arena, everyone knows how to focus on service as well. What is your favorite hobby?
Yeah, I mean, I like sport. So I like to do many different kind of sport. I like to play tennis. I like to play golf. But Sweden
Okay.
is a very cold country, with the summer activity. I like to play golf and tennis.
Okay. What is one thing that annoys you the most?
Annoyed? Uh,
Yeah. What annoys you the most?
it's when I don't perform as good as I know I can. If I perform good, then and I lose a match, it's totally fine. But if I underperform, it's annoying for me.
Okay. One thing world doesn't know about you.
Um, I love ice cream.
This is being such a fit person. I think if you say this now, many of them will start eating ice creams.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Describe yourself in 3 words, Peter.
Calm, kind, competitive.
Okay, super. My next question is, what other name than Peter suits your personality?
Uh, there is a Swedish name called Björn. You know
Oh,
what Björn is? Björn is
Bjorn Borg,
bear.
Bjorn Borg, or the same thing?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. It's a big animal. I'm quite big.
Yes, you are. What is the best quote you believe the most?
The best
Quote. Best quote.
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 Yeah. Like any phrase which you believe the most.
Okay, okay. Do your best, and all gonna be fine.
Wow. Wow. You said it. My next question is, if you have 3 wishes, what will be that?
3 vision.
3 wishes. Wishes. 3 wishes.
Ah, wishes. Peace on earth.
Yes.
Environment focus, and
Okay.
uh, respect between religions.
Okay. Wow. 2 things you would like to delete from your life.
Delete.
Delete. 2 things you want to take out from your life.
Bushan, I have no
Yes.
things I want to delete. I have no
Wow.
things, because I'm sure whatever I have experienced have taught me something. So I can't say anything.
Wow. Best advice you have ever received.
When I become world champion, my brother told me, "Congratulations, but you are still my younger brother." Fantastic. It's not an advice, but the way he said it means that result is just a result. Nothing changed in your life. Fantastic way to separate my and my result.
Wow,
And he said
Peter.
it very early in my career, but I have used it always, that I can come home and I will always be the same person.
Wow, Peter. Wow, it will be something very important for many to know this. What you love the most?
My wife.
Good, you are saying this on the camera.
Yes.
Uh, what is your dream place?
Sweden, Falkenberg.
Falkenberg. Yes. What else it
Yes.
can be? My last question, Peter. Uh, do you sing a song? Do you sing?
No, I'm not a good singer.
Have you ever? No.
No, no, no.
Fantastic. And last question is: are you a morning or a night person? You wake up
Yeah,
late in the night,
yeah,
or you are a
yeah,
morning person? You get
I-
up early.
yeah. The problem here, Bhushan, I'm tired in the morning and I'm tired in the evening. So, so I don't know. I have it, like my, my kids say, Papa, you have a few hours after you eat lunch where you are good.
Okay. So only that period you are alive, you will do
Yes.
stay.
And then I said, okay, but then I performed quite good in my life to only have it, such a short moment.
Even with such short notice, what you became such a big person in the world. Fantastic, Peter. Any last words you would like to give your comment, give share with some or the audience before we log off?
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming back to this, that life is teaching you a lot. Uh, put yourself in an environment where you experience a lot. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid for environments that is tough. If you reflect and then you remember what you reflect, because you will get a lot of important information when you go to different environments. You speak to different people. So reflect, remember, and then implement into your life. Yeah? It's a very, very simple concept, but if you do this good, you will always learn a lot. You will get a lot of experience. You will meet a lot of fantastic people, and you will develop as. But don't be afraid to go to different environments.
Out of the comfort zone also.
Yes, out of the comfort zone. Definitely.
Okay. One thing which I have learned from you, or I have always heard from your side, is keep a balance. And in your tone, if it is always said balance, so it keep a balance, which you
Yes.
always you mention, and that is very important for
Yes.
every life.
Yes. No, no, you
Thank.
you you can only do your best, Bhushan,
Yes,
but you need to know what your best is. This is
correct,
important.
correct,
Tell me, I'm doing my best. And then I said, no, I know you can do better.
correct,
So you need to have self-awareness, and you need to be yourself.
correct,
You cannot say that you are doing your best, you are not doing your best.
correct.
And this is also a process. You need to understand, you need to have self-awareness, you need to be very honest to yourself.
Correct. Thank you, Peter, for such a wonderful experience. And it's. I'm really excited that we are having this session, and the type of knowledges you have shared in all the perspective will definitely guide many upcoming champions in their journey of sports. Thank you so much, Peter. And dear viewers, I hope you must have enjoyed this show and learned a lot from this episode. See you tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. on Sport Cham's Saturday show on sport genetics on a very special topic, methods to identify right sport at the right time. Thank you, Peter, and thank you so much for giving your time and amazing, because we keep on having so much talks. This is we are having live. So those talks are also 1 hour plus. This is a very small talk. Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Pleasure.
Thank you.
And I'm saying
Thank you.
hi to all the India players and
Yes.
all my friends in India.
Yes.